All right, Elena, I'm still reeling from that game. India versus New Zealand, first ODI. Everyone, and I mean everyone, had India pegged for an easy win, especially at home. And then, boom, New Zealand just flipped the script entirely.
Totally, James. I mean, what a match. From the moment India started batting, there was this buzz, right? We saw some solid performances, a good total put up, and then you just felt like New Zealand would fold under pressure, like they've done so many times against India in recent memory. But oh boy, were we wrong. That's why we love cricket, isn't it?
Absolutely. But let's not just talk about the result, because that headline, Shubman Gill's tactics backfire, really hit home for me. You know, Gill's been brilliant with the bat, absolutely a superstar in the making. But today, captaincy-wise, I just saw some decisions that left me scratching my head.
Oh, tell me about it. You could almost feel the momentum shifting, and it felt like there was a reluctance to really change things up when New Zealand started to build those crucial partnerships. It was like they were sticking to a plan A, even when plan A was clearly not working. But before we dive into that, can we just appreciate the sheer grit from the Black Caps? They hadn't beaten India in an ODI in India for ages, right? This was monumental for them.
Monumental is an understatement. It's been 10 ODIs since they managed to get one over India. 10. That's a significant losing streak for any team, let alone one of New Zealand's caliber. So for them to come out and pull off this epic first, as the headlines put it really speaks volumes about their resilience. What stood out for you in their chase, Elena?
For me, it was that middle-order fight back. They lost a couple of early wickets, and you could feel the Indian crowd really getting into it. But then you had that partnership, especially between Mitchell and Tom Latham, just steadying the ship. They weren't trying to hit every ball out of the park. They were smart, finding the gaps, rotating the strike. It was classic ODI batting, building pressure without taking too many risks.
Agreed. Mitchell's century was just sublime, wasn't it? He picked his moments, and when he decided to accelerate, he really did. But let's bring it back to Gill. So India sets a respectable 300-plus total, which on most Indian pitches is a winning score. The bowlers start well, get those early wickets. Then New Zealand is 4 down for just over 100, and you're thinking, okay, game over. What happened next?
That's exactly it. It was the perfect setup. And then the intensity seemed to just drop. The field placements became a bit defensive. The bowling changes felt a little reactive rather than proactive. It's easy to say this in hindsight, of course, but you wanted to see the captain really seize that moment, double down on the pressure. Instead, it felt like New Zealand were given a window to breathe.
Exactly. My biggest concern was the handling of the spinners in the middle overs. When Latham and Mitchell were truly getting set, the spin attack, which is usually India's strength in these conditions, just couldn't break through. And I felt like Gill perhaps overused some of the part-timers, or didn't bring back his strike bowlers at the right time when the partnership was flourishing.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance, isn't it? You want to manage your main bowlers' overs, save them for the death, but if you let the game slip too far in the middle, those death overs become meaningless. And that's kind of what happened. New Zealand kept the required run rate manageable, and by the time India's main bowlers came back, they were already well ahead of the curve.
Precisely. The field settings, too, felt a little bit conservative. There were times when New Zealand needed boundaries, and the gaps were just there for them to exploit. You have to be aggressive, especially when you have a decent total on the board and the opposition is rebuilding. Sometimes you need to risk a few boundaries to get a wicket, and I didn't see enough of that attacking mindset from the captain.
I think it also speaks to the incredible pressure of captaining at this level. Gill is still relatively new to this, leading the national side, and while he's got a great cricketing brain, that on-field execution under pressure is a whole different ballgame. It's a learning curve for sure, but this one will sting, especially after putting up such a strong batting performance themselves.
Oh, absolutely it will sting. You know, we talk about Gill's tactics, but we also have to acknowledge the individual performances from India's side. The batting was truly impressive. Who stood out for you there, Elena, despite the loss?
Well, obviously Gill himself. He played a fantastic innings setting that platform. And then I thought Rohit Sharma looked solid at the start, really putting the bowlers under pressure. But it was also a collective effort, with contributions down the order that helped them reach that 300-plus mark. It's just that, it feels like all that hard work with the bat was slightly undone by the fielding and bowling strategy later on.
Yeah, it's a classic case of not being able to close out the game. And that's something India has been working on. You look at their recent white ball form, they've been phenomenal. But those high-pressure chases, those moments when the game is finely balanced, they sometimes just need that extra strategic edge, that decisive captaincy call. And today, I felt that was missing.
And New Zealand, conversely, they capitalized on every single opening. They didn't just stumble into this win, they earned it through sheer determination and smart batting. When the Indian bowlers were a little off, they punished them. When the fields opened up, they found the gaps. It was a clinical chase, especially given the history between these two sides.
That's it, clinical chase. It almost felt like a statement win from New Zealand. They're telling India, look, we're not just here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete, and we can beat you in your own backyard. It adds a whole new layer of excitement to the rest of the series, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If you'd asked me yesterday, I'd have said 3-0 India, no problem. Now, I'm genuinely excited for the second ODI. India will come back hard, no doubt, but New Zealand has that belief now. That 10 ODI losing streak is broken, and that mental block is gone. That's huge for them.
Massive. And for Gill, it's a harsh lesson, but one he'll learn from. He's got the talent, he's got the drive, but captaincy is a different beast. You have to adapt, you have to be unpredictable, and you have to instill that confidence in your bowlers, especially when things aren't going your way.
It's true, every great captain has had these moments, these tough losses that shape them. I'm sure he'll be reviewing everything, and we'll see a different approach next time. But for tonight, hats off to New Zealand. They played an absolutely phenomenal game of cricket and truly earned that epic win. What a story.
Indeed. A truly epic win for New Zealand, breaking that long drought, and a wake-up call for India. The series just got a whole lot more interesting. We'll be back to dissect the next game, but for now, what a way to kick off the series. Thanks for joining me, Elena.
My pleasure, James. Couldn't have asked for a more dramatic start. Until next time, everyone.